Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Ryan the Piranha Garner, good name. He stops Reece Bellotti in the final round of, I guess you'd call it unification. He had the EBU title, Balotti had the British and Commonwealth belts. They were all on the line, and one of those WBC trinket things gets your world ranking. All the marbles were in the bag, shall we say. And it was Garner who came out on top with a final round stoppage. A salvo of punches that sort of, it didn't knock Balotti into space. I mean, there were probably a few little birds tweeting around his head, but it wasn't as if he was knocked flat or didn't know where he was. But he'd shipped an awful lot of punishment, and the punches were not being replied to. Balotti looked vulnerable at that point and had been softened up throughout a grueling fight, and the referee stepped in and stopped the fight. I mean, perfectly legitimate stoppage, but I did feel for Balotti. I mean, I predicted that this would be a win for Garner on points, and it almost was, But I said in my preview that I felt Garner was going to be just a bit too sharp, a little bit too well schooled, more variety, more imagination. He would just be a step ahead of Balotti. I did think Balotti would win rounds, and to be honest, I only gave him 2 in this fight. But a lot of the other rounds, Balotti, because he's a gritty, tough guy, was trying to force the fight, looking for a big left hook. Garner can stand up a little bit upright at times, and he's got quite a high guard a lot of the time. When he's letting his hands go, he's kind of a little bit upright. There isn't a lot of head movement, and I think Balotti was trying to find one punch. He sort of slipped into that. Is it desperation? I suppose you could say it is desperation, couldn't you? Because he knew he couldn't outbox Garner. And Garner the first few rounds, Balotti, I thought was a little bit shaken by Garner in the first round. In the second round, there was a bit of roughhousing going on with the head going in. And Balotti probably trying to old man him, grab and hold, use the head a bit. Not headbutt him, but put it in there, and try and stop Garner from finding any kind of range or rhythm. And that was a pretty good tactic, but I don't think it was ever going to work for 12 rounds, because by the 4th round, Garner was finding his range, and he was controlling the tempo of the fight, and he was beginning to really let his hands go, and it was paying dividends almost instantly. In the 4th round, I thought Balotti looked uncomfortable. He had a cut to his eye. It was an insignificant cut, really. Left eye was down the side. Blood didn't get in his eyes. He did manage to bloody Garner's nose in one of the middle rounds. But again, it was... you just felt that, Balotti was really having to use every ounce of energy just to try and pull out a round. Whereas Garner, with his better schooling, lovely fluid punches, are both orthodox fighters, by the way. Great jab on Garner. He's only got 8. This is actually his 9th KO in 18 wins. So it's not as if he's a banger. But as I said in my preview, he doesn't try to knock you out. He probably hits harder than that percentage indicates. He doesn't try to knock you out, though. He's quite content to do the textbook stuff, to vary it a bit, to make the opponent think, what the hell is coming next? And I got the feeling that Balotti, as game and tough as he is, he just didn't really have any reply to what Garner was throwing at him. I mean, Garner won the EBU title over an undefeated fighter called Salvador Jimenez, who was, I think he whitewashed him. I think he won every round and every card, but Jimenez looked like a sort of light punching, barely EBU level fighter from, I think he was from Spain. Rather unsurprisingly, had fought. I think he'd fought all his fights in Spain, and then when he came out of the home cooking kitchen, he got really found out quite badly. So that didn't, that was a great win for Garner. It picked up the EBU title, but prior to that, he scored what I think. He scored a couple of wins actually. He scored one over Liam Dillon. I thought he was very impressive in that. That was a 10-round decision where he won most of the rounds. But then he beat Archie Sharp, who was undefeated in 25. And is that a better win than stopping Balotti? I don't know. Probably. I mean, Balotti is 34. Had he won the EBU title and retained his British title, he would have actually won a Lonsdale belt outright, which I was kind of hoping he would, because I've followed his career virtually from the start, Reece Bellotti, and for him to come back from 5 defeats in 7 fights, 2 of those stoppages, and then go back to area level. He beat Dean Dodge for the Southern area title, and he was Commonwealth, and it was British, and he's a 2-weight Commonwealth champ, and he's a former British champion, so he's had a very good career. But the way he came back, and to be still at the top of the tree at 34, to have that Indian summer of a career, I think was laudable. But unfortunately, maybe now he is beginning to look a little bit his age. I don't want to take anything away from Garner, because there's nothing to take. There's no way you can slander Garner for this performance. He was absolutely fantastic. He did absolutely everything he needed to do. And quite possibly he can go on to world level. I mean, what is he now, 27, Garner? Yeah, I mean, this was 18 fights. I'd have another. I'd maybe defend the EBU a couple of times. Just get a couple of 12-rounders under your belt. There's no hurry. Super featherweight division. Yeah, it's winnable. The belts are winnable, maybe. I mean, do I think Garner I'm not convinced Garner's reached his ceiling yet. You know what I mean? He's 27, so he's probably he's at his peak. But whether he's as good as he can possibly get, I think maybe another couple of EBU title defences, or maybe just a couple of 10-rounders against top 15 opponents, would prepare him better for a world title challenge. But we'll see. I mean, he's got the world at his feet, that's for sure. He's won everything he can win apart from a world title now. So he'll be looking to move on to world level, and who knows? I mean, he's in Frank Warren's stable. He's in the Queensbury stable. We all know how well Frank Warren, traditionally, I mean, for decades, has brought on young fighters. He's brought them on incredibly well. Going the traditional route, area, English, British, Commonwealth, European, and then on to world. And timing is everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if he picked up a belt. Wouldn't be surprised at all. A world belt. Anyway, let me know what you think. How do you feel about these fighters? I'm a little bit sad for Reece Bellotti. He's from Watford, and I know Watford well because I'm from North London, and Watford is just north of London, and Watford Gap and all that business. And I know St Albans and Luton, all up to Luton, Bedford. Yeah, I know all that. I know the Thameslink line, basically. But anyway, I'm a little bit sad for Reece Bellotti, but he couldn't quite get over that EBU hurdle. But what a great career he's had. If he decides to knock it on the head, yeah, that's fine. He's had a very good career. More to come from Ryan Garner, though. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. And I hope you enjoyed the boxing this weekend. I thought it was an okay card. It wasn't great, but it was all right. So let me know. Let me know what you think. All right, thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and bye for now.